Hey, it's Matt, your Frontier friend. Different video today. Doesn't really matter because I don't have that many subscribers yet. This probably won't perform well on algorithms, but I want to just have a discussion about my feelings on agents like OpenClaw and Hermes, and maybe this just helps some of you thinking about whether or not you need to jump into the real frontier, speaking of frontier friend, the real frontier of agentic stuff that we have available at our fingertips. You know, this is something that I've just started to pursue for a few different reasons. Number one, there was this feeling of just being overwhelmed, like when the Claude bot hype was happening, and it was just all over Twitter, all over Reddit, and everyone was talking about it. I was just far too busy trying to keep up with, really honing in my skills with Claude Code, and not only the skills, but my use case. Like, do I need this stuff in my life? Because there is so much stuff we can just get overrun by trialing stuff and getting super excited about the shiny object, and then we just never deploy it that to provide value for the work that we're doing. Okay, so when it first came out, I literally don't have time for this OpenClaw stuff, or Claude bot stuff, which then became OpenClaw. And two, everything here is bleeding edge. I mean, everything is cutting edge, and these agents are bleeding edge, right? If you look at OpenClaw or Hermes, which is now getting a ton of hype as well. I don't mean hype in a bad way. I just mean hype like a lot of people are just super excited about it for good reason, and I think maybe for uninformed reason. I started to play with setting up OpenClaw the other day, and it is still very brittle on the edges. There's still a lot of complexity here, and I am fairly technical, but I also am looking at how much overhead it takes to launch and configure something like this and try to compare it with the more stable AI stuff, if I can say that, like the more stable AI stuff, and even the more, tried and true automation stuff like a Zapier or Make or an N8N. I'm looking at this stuff going, okay, this is great. There's, the blue skies of having an agent running for you 24/7, doing all of these things sounds amazing. And you start to think of like, well, if I just had this thing running for me all the time, I could have it do all of my email. I could have it do all of my cold outreach. I could have it do all of my marketing research. And there's this thought of like, yeah, that sounds great. And then we go and buy a Mac Mini. Like, we haven't even proven whether or not the technology works, let alone works effectively for us. And we're already buying Mac Mini sold out throughout the world. Now, there are plenty of people that are getting value from these real bleeding edge agentic tools. There's no doubt about it. But I think there's this big, meaty middle, and I'm in that middle of people who are like, I want it just because it's a new thing, and I'm going to spend all of this time and resources to get it working, only to find out maybe a month or so later, this isn't the thing for me. So in my experiments with OpenClaw, it does look promising. I will do a video of setting it up I use a DigitalOcean VPS only because I've used DigitalOcean in the past and I'm familiar with their tooling. There's many different ways that you can run OpenClaw or Hermes in this case. A lot of people lean to go and get the Mac Mini for various reasons. One, because it's a sexy device. Two, because it just sounds like all I have to do is buy this thing here and I'm good to go. So there's like that compelling argument for it. It's somewhat affordable until you start adding a bunch of memory and storage to it. It's a small, silent device. On this desk, I run a Mac Mini. And why did I say on this desk? Because it is literally pinned underneath the desk, because it takes nothing to hold it up, and it's just out of the way. So yes, they're a fantastic device, but you don't particularly need one. You could build your own Linux system out of a spare laptop or older desktop that you have. As long as it's got enough horsepower to run this stuff, you should be good to go. You could get a virtual private server like I did with DigitalOcean, so long as you understand the risks. And I guess so long as you understand the risks out of all of this stuff. So those are my first two main reasons where I've stayed away from, for up until this point in time, I've largely stayed away from it because so bleeding edge that I don't know if it's ready for the needs that I have. And two, I was just so damn busy. But now I'm starting to dabble in it. Here's where I think we should all just take a step back and understand the promised value of an agent. And largely, it is that it will run autonomously, right? So if you get over the hump of like, I'm going to launch this thing, I'm okay with it running 24/7, and I know what my risks are if I run this on a VPS, and I don't want to spend $700-800 on a Mac Mini. It's understanding that I'm going to use it for its intent. And I think a lot of people like the idea of that autonomous agent, willing to do tasks for you. It almost feels good to be like, hey, if I launch this thing, it's almost like hiring somebody. I can't hire anybody right now. I can't afford it, or I don't have enough resources or enough revenue yet to bring that person onto the team. And why not have this agent that can do all of this business stuff for me in the background at a low cost? And that feels compelling. It feels like you're getting stuff done. But just from the 1.5 to 2 hours of playing with OpenClaw and doing a ton of research beforehand and watching a ton of other YouTube videos on how people set this stuff up, it's not just a copy paste and you're off to the races. The idea behind the agent is that you are training the agent on what it is and what its responsibilities are in an autonomous setting. Let me just unpack that a little bit more. There's a soul.md file, which is sort of, I guess, tongue-in-cheek. This is just on OpenClaw. It's sort of just tongue-in-cheek where it's like, oh, what's the soul of this agent? Like we all have souls inside of us. Right? What's the soul of my coworker or my boss, or if I'm the boss, of my employees? So it's a weird when you first start to think about it. It is like, what makes up this agent? Well, the more time you can put into that, the better theoretically that agent will be, and the better that agent will respond to you and deploy against the tasks that you've assigned it. And then, of course, there's like the logical part. Like, okay, here's your soul. Here's your logical piece. Like, now you have a soul, but you're also an employee of me. Here's how I want you to act as an employee, or as an agent in this case. So this stuff takes training and careful attention and time to invest and to get this thing up and running. When I feel like that allure to just like that feeling of I'm just going to offload this thing to an agent might actually be better served if you offloaded just tasks to some kind of automatic system, like you could build in Zapier if you were trying to do market research or scan your inbox and draft replies. Like if you're not going to fully embrace the autonomous agentic solutions that these things are built for, I almost feel like I can just, instead of having to train this thing and run this thing and spend money on this, which I'll get to in a second, I should just build that solution that I'm looking for right inside of Zapier. Or do I really need to have it autonomous? Could I build skills and create a tree of knowledge and memory inside my Claude Code or Codex and just deploy that while I'm sitting at my workstation to do the work that I want it to get done? Don't underestimate Claude Code or Codex on the terminal as your sort of companion doing things that are not coding, right? It can do research, it can draft blog posts, and you can build it in a way where it just runs to do its thing. Sans all of like the memory and the agentic approach that Hermes and an OpenClaw are going to take. So what I'm trying to do here is urge you in thinking critically about whether or not you need these systems. This is why this video won't be hyped or won't rank high in the algorithms, because I'm sort of going against the grain. Like everyone's hyping the value of these agentic tools, and I'm saying, well, do you actually need it, is the question. And I'm pretty happy with a lot of other AI tooling that I have. I'm also of the mindset that these companies are going to solve what OpenClaw and Hermes are doing in the native app, right? In their native app of choice, whether that's OpenAI, Anthropic, Google Gemini, these big frontier companies are going to solve this in their own product because they're going to make more money that way. And Claude Desktop with the remote feature, dispatch to your phone, is like a step in that direction. It's a step in that direction where you can just kind of offload that work remotely and do your thing. You know, you run Claude Desktop on your Mac or Windows. I think they support Windows. And then you just run the rest of it on your mobile device. Okay. And it's just not fully autonomous, set up in a way where you're like thinking of it as a separate entity, though you could. So these companies are going to build this stuff out. And why is that important? Because you go back to my thoughts of these agentic tools being bleeding edge, and then like a lot of the stuff that we're doing with Codex or Claude Code and like building out our own little toolings around this stuff being cutting edge, and then ChatGPT being, or like typical chat agents just being the future of work, like the third layer, but the closest to the consumer. These businesses, once they move that to cutting edge, there's a level of stability there, right? OpenClaw, Hermes, I'm thinking to myself, now I have to be extra cautious. I have to be extra cautious when I launch and deploy these things for me to, well, make sure that they're getting the updates that they need, that they are performant, and that they're like, are they doing the job that I'm envisioning them to be able to do? How do I secure this? How do I keep it maintained? What does that overhead look like? What does the long-term effect of that look like in terms of bigger VPS? Do you have to spend more and more money every month on just the hardware and the storage of this stuff? Like now I am thinking about, well, just like if I'm hiring somebody, if you hire somebody on your team, no matter what business you're in, development or landscaping, and you bring in a junior person, you start thinking to yourself, like, do I have to train you while I'm here? Like, I thought you knew this job. I thought I could just rely on you and give it to you, and you just run with it. And if you try to do that with a junior person, well, then you get all of the errors that happen with a junior person. And it's almost like the same thing with these Hermes and OpenClaw stuff, where now you're like having to babysit it to make sure it's still doing the task and staying in the lane that you need it to stay in. So that's another thing that gives me a little bit of caution with this stuff. And this is why I think if a Claude came to me and said, or an Anthropic came and said, you can get a Claude agent now for an extra $100 a month, and we've built it in such a way where it won't go over that price, and you just run it right here in this environment, I'm going to opt to do that versus having to build my own and have to rely on all this other stuff that I have to maintain and be sure that it's using correctly. In my experiment with OpenClaw, I use OpenRouter, which is, for a 50,000-foot view, a place where I can give OpenClaw a single API, and then it has access to a bunch of other models, right? Because let's not forget, OpenClaw and Hermes, you still have to go and connect this up to a model. And the model is going to be the part that performs for you. The idea behind the agents is that they are supposed to be smarter in terms of like routing and tooling and taking these requests. You can chat with it with third-party platforms. You can set up cron tasks. You can do some other things that make it feel much more like the agent. But inside the agent or your coworker is a brain, and that brain is what you're paying for as well. I connected it up to OpenRouter. By default, it used ChatGPT 4.0 Mini, I believe. And it just running without me executing any tasks. I chat with it creates a dashboard, and you can have this sort of in-dashboard chatbot that you can chat with. And that alone, plus just running, doing its sort of heartbeat thing overnight and just operating and checking for updates, was around like 1 million to 1.25 million tokens inside of OpenRouter with 4.0 Mini, which cost like $2, maybe $1.50 to $2. I forget what it was. That was doing nothing. That was doing nothing of substance. It was me literally trying to figure out like, okay, are we connected? Can I connect up WhatsApp? Can I connect up Telegram? I had some bumps and bruises along the way with that. And I was just generally chatting with it. Like, hey, can you see this configuration file? Like, what's your name? What's my name? Like, what's the next best step? Like, just super basic things like that. And it used up 1 million tokens in just that conversation, plus whatever it was doing in the background, which is supposed to be minimal. So I can only imagine that when I were to deploy this at any kind of production level thing that I'd want it to do, which would be, at least for my case, the reason why I started to look at this was to do market research for a particular product that I'm running, go out, find blog posts, curate those blog posts, find particular individuals or stakeholders in that market that I should reach out to and contact. Like, I haven't even begun to build that process, which allegedly they can do really well. But I started to think of the cost of that, and I'm just like, that's just insane. Like, if that's going to run at a cheap model, I know there's open source models, and I'm definitely going to explore that stuff. But if I started to use any of the frontier models, it would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do the stuff that I see being hyped in a lot of YouTube videos, right? A lot of YouTube videos of these kids who are, and adults, who are talking about creating sales, sales lead, agentic sales lead platforms, doing cold calling, doing all of this automatic outreach. And if you're willing to spend the hundreds and hundreds of dollars to replace that system for you, then so be it. And even if you fine tune it and you get it to be perfect, it's still going to cost a lot more than I think a lot of people suspect it will, along with you paying for everything else. The VPS hosting, surely it's not going to run on a $12 a month DigitalOcean account while it's doing a ton of research and emailing people. I'm going to have to boost that up as well. That'd probably be between the $50 to $100 a month, which is another surprise I think a lot of people are going to run into. A Mac Mini running OpenClaw is a lot different than a $12 a month DigitalOcean VPS. The power in the Mac Mini is probably 100 times what you're getting for $12 from DigitalOcean, if not more. So that's going to be a surprise, I think, for a lot of people. And I just wanted to make this video because I want to feed the channel and I want to have a conversation about this stuff. Might not be the video that you hope for. You might not have made it this far in the video anyway, but if you did, I'd love to at least have the conversation below and let me know what you think. I'm not saying this stuff is wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it. I'm just here to say that if you're on the fence or feeling that anxiety to want to jump onto this stuff, I would question whether or not a big agentic system like this that takes a lot to get off the ground, not a lot, but I mean, it takes time and effort, that maybe you could solve that issue with your existing tools that you're using, and maybe something like a Zapier or a Make or an NNN with the stuff that they have now. Like, if you're thinking, I just want tasks to get done, maybe you think about building it out a different way. If you want something to be totally on its own and doing things for you and learning, and you're ready to actively or proactively and actively babysit that and fine tune it, then I think these agents are the way to go. I'm still going to experiment with it. I still want to see what it's going to cost to put an agent in place that will do the research. That's a task part, which I can do with Zapier or Claude Code, but then I also want it to evaluate that stuff to my desires and then send me the report of, as it finds new leads, these might be the best for me. I will put it to that test. I suspect it's going to cost a lot more than I imagine it will. Probably a few hundred a month at minimum is what I'm guessing, but I will report back. It's your Frontier friend. Hope you don't mind a video like this. Thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more. Chat, have a conversation below, and let's talk about it.